weasel sniffing about. You'd best go back the way you came. There's nothing for you here. I understand that you think yourself a big hero here on a big, important job. The last one did too. But you've grossly misapprehended the situation here. This place is a graveyard. All that was done here should be forgotten and left to rot. Gorgon is the birthplace of marauders. We created them here, in this very facility. They are our misbegotten children, born of hubris, vanity. They hold no fondness for trespassers. I've placed the facility under emergency lockdown to keep them safe. Let the marauders die in peace, or I will make certain that you die with them.
Captain.
Captain! Imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news. Someone? You mean someone still has access to the facility? Oh, after all this time. Who was it? Drat. Make sure you have eyes on the back of your head. I doubt we've seen the last of this human vexation. If I know Spacer's choice, getting past the lockdown will be more complicated than just hitting a big red button. You'll need authorization, and layers of it. I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. I knew knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea. Adrenatime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time. What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea Adrenatime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about Adrenatime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late. Adrenatime was touted as the working man's best friend, a drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of Adrenatime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise. I don't know. And thanks to Spacer's Choice, we may never find out. I know that I'd like to see a colony where the promise of Adrenatime was fulfilled, and I doubt I'm the only one. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes? That's the spirit. Until next time, my good captain.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.
I've done plenty of smuggling runs, but this thing with a chemical... Can we? I shipped with a merc who had a gun like yours, Nyoka. He polished it, sang to it, slept with it. Not like that, as far as I know.
Sounds like he had himself a discerning palate. Where are you going with this?
He couldn't hit the broadside of an assault cruiser, hence the tin shredder.
Wouldn't be the first man I met bearing compensation for his lack of skill. What's up?
Why can't something exciting?
Hey, you! Yeah, you. The million-bit smile?
According to local legend, if you walk around the orrery 3 times, your corporate rival will die of a paper cut.
Ugh. Decadence ain't gonna save you when beasts chew through the walls.
Citizens, today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history.
Sure, they look fancy, but inside, they're just marble and existential emptiness.
Welcome to the Musgrave Family Collection. Still a work in progress. Hey! Slow down, what's the hurry? If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on... This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Then you should have told me that before I greeted you. Defaulting on a verbal agreement. Now then. We find that our clients enjoy the appearance of participating in illegal activities. Secrecy contributes.
This kind of thing's pretty common. Bijou's used to do a prison-themed night. Served fish sticks with tartarus sauce.
Oh yeah, prison-themed night was the best. Plus, they gave away limited edition design. The Musgrave family collection was intended to be a gallery of fine art. And here we are, using this place to practice That's privileged information. That's a fair point.
Guaranteed secrecy is expensive, you know.
Oh, it's all right. The Musgraves own one of Earth's largest private collections of art and literature. Unfortunately, that collection never arrived. We haven't heard anything from the delivery convoy, and there's some purely hypothetical concern that the collection might... I was going to say indefinitely delayed by unforeseen and... Anyway, that's as much as... Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room. Head inside and take...
Just between the two of us, I hope this doesn't become a tradition.
Not looking forward to the next annual Canid review?
Not looking forward to the Canids. Odious things. I don't know why we let them prance around the city.
Welcome. This unit has been programmed to... Now loading Banter Protocol. Indecency ratios. Did you know that Orville Schuyler feeds his... Indecency ratio set to Byzantium's glory days are over. Bits cannot purchase happiness. All pleasure. Warning. This unit's banter protocol has exceeded its maximum. This unit's banter protocol has been...
How long did you say Musgrave was gone?
I didn't. Frankly, I don't know. He said he was off on some type of beautification treatment.
Oh, just hear me out. It's a brilliant idea.
Is this about Canid?
Not now,
We've been over
please.
this before.
I'm a little too busy, you know, being the master of ceremonies.
Evolution of Canid shows. No one's going to miss a few backwater laborers anyway.
Welcome. This unit has...
Do you know the interesting thing about Canid? Good ins. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about Canid shows is this. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just In other words, if you put enough Canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility. What gave me away? Wait, don't tell me. You've read my monograph. I'm afraid I don't really do autograph. Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather... Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back... Oh. Then you're... It's true. I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since... Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice. I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond with threats. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know 2 people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good... Yes, the birthplace of the Marauders. And a graveyard for all our mistakes. Starting Project... Trying to bury Project Gorgon while it's still very much alive. Please, there's no need to insult me by implying I have a conscience. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way we don't have to rely on the grand prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and... My Canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other Canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. Oh, you're much too kind. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium. Oh, you're quite welcome. I look...
Ugh.
always hated these things. Basically sprats with an attitude.
Come now, Anubis, you must perk up.
It ain't stealing if no one sees.
Halt.
You know, stealing from these assholes is its own reward.
Come now, Anubis. You must perk up.
It's not canid hunting all day.
Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. At the moment, nothing. I have a one-track mind. I can't stop. You get me that. My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from two senior... Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but after the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the two most likely survivors are Mary. Nonsense. I just needed a good old-fashioned statistical problem to busy my mind. As far as I know, Jasper Lowe and Marion Blakesley are the only two surviving If you want to lift the lockdown on the manufactory, you'll need to send an override from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. I'm afraid it's the only way. I know it feels like you're being led on. What is that colorful metaphor commoners use? Oh, remember, this is Spacer's Choice we're talking about. Their security protocols are just as Dr. Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a main... Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, after the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Anti-Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred.
No, Captain. Lab coats.
Is your captain always this dense? How are you?
I live for risk.
Try to exercise caution. It's good.
Can we talk?
You'd only be letting them into Byzantium.
Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. The Groundbreaker Auxiliary Base.